That's it.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Raju, working as PGT in English in Tsrs&Jc Enkoor. Today we are going to see Module 2, Unit 5, The Royal Tombs of Golconda. This poem is written by Sarojini Naidu. Before we begin the poem, let us see a few important facts about the poet. Sarojini Naidu was born in the year 1879 and died in the year 1949. He is one of the most illustrious daughters of India. Was born in Hyderabad to Bengali parents. A child prodigy, Sarojini Naidu started writing poetry early. She wrote several poems primarily to promote the glory of Indian culture and history worldwide. A committed humanist and social activist, she played a prominent role in India's struggle for freedom. In this slide, as you all know, you are going to write an annotation and a short answer from poetry. So this annotation and short answer will be 4 marks, will be for 4 marks. So students have to know about the writer thoroughly. So I suggest all the students to listen the lesson very carefully so that you can score better marks in your IPE. Sarojini Naidu was born in Hyderabad to Bengali parents. She was a child prodigy. She started writing early in her childhood. She wrote several poems primarily to promote the glory of Indian culture and history worldwide. When we talk about culture, we know one of her poems which described the culture of Hyderabad, the capital of Telangana state. It is there in class 6 textbook. The name of the poem is In the Bazaars of Hyderabad. In that poem, she described the culture of Hyderabad. So, her spirited speeches and poems impressed Gandhiji so much that he called her the Nightingale of India. The philanthropist in Sarojini Naidu ensured that their home, Golden Threshold, in the heart of Hyderabad, was handed over to the government for public use. She was the first woman president of the Indian National Congress and also the first woman to be the governor of a state in independent India, the United Provinces, now called as Uttar Pradesh. Mahatma Gandhi was impressed by the spirited speeches of Sarojini Naidu, and he was also impressed by poems written by Sarojini Naidu. That was the reason why Mahatma Gandhi called Sarojini Naidu the Nightingale of India. And she was a great philanthropist. Philanthropist is a word derived from 2 Greek words, phileo and anthropology, anthropist. The meaning of phileo is love. Anthropos means mankind. She loved mankind and she donated her house, which was constructed in the heart of Hyderabad. Heart of Hyderabad means in the middle of Hyderabad city. The name of the house is Golden Threshold. It was handed over to the government for public use. She was the first woman president of Indian National Congress and also the first woman to be the governor of a state in independent India. After the independence, she was elected as the governor. She was the first woman to be the woman governor to a state called Uttar Pradesh. And in terms of her writings, her collections of poems include The Golden Threshold, written in 1905, The Bird of Time, Songs of Life, Death and the Spring, written in 1912, The Broken Wings, Songs of Love, Death and Destiny in 1917, The Sceptred Flute, Songs of India, and The Feathers of the Dawn were published posthumously. Posthumously means published after the death. Before we begin the poem, let us see a few important facts in pre-reading. When you think of Hyderabad, what landmarks are you reminded of? Is Golconda one of them? Have you ever visited the place? That was the place from which several kings ruled the state. Read on to find images of Golconda come to your mind. Many of us might have visited Hyderabad several times. When we visit Hyderabad, we feel like making a visit to Birla Mandir. We feel like making a visit to Salarjung Museum. We feel like making a visit to Golconda Fort too, because it is one of the most tourist places in the Hyderabad. So in this poem, we are going to see the images that come to our mind when we visit the Golconda Fort. Let's now see about the poem. The poem describes the tombs of the 7 Qutub Shahi rulers situated about 2 kilometers from Golconda Fort. These tombs are set amidst the beautifully laid out gardens of Ibrahim Bagh. Every arch, dome, and gallery in these tombs is a gem of Qutub Shahi architecture set in picture-perfect serene surroundings. Sarojini Naidu picturizes the valor, gallantry, and beauty of the kings and the queens of a bygone era, which these monuments symbolize. The poem we are going to talk about today is The Royal Tombs of Golconda. The Royal Tombs of Golconda is situated about 2 kilometers away from Golconda Fort in a garden located in Ibrahim Bagh. In Ibrahim Bagh, there is a garden in which 7 Qutub Shahi rulers are buried. And when we make a visit to these 7 tombs of the rulers of Qutub Shahi dynasty, we can see, or we would definitely appreciate the architecture set in picture perfect serene surroundings. Sarojini Naidu picturizes the valor, the greatness of the 7 kings, gallantry and the beauty of the kings and queens of a bygone era, which these monuments symbolize. This poem consists of 3 stanzas. First stanza describes the ambience of the royal tombs, describes the condition, describes the atmosphere over there in stanza 1. Second stanza describes the poet's address to the kings. Sarojini Naidu addresses the kings in stanza 2. In that stanza, she describes the greatness of the kings. And in stanza 3, she addresses to the queens. In stanza 3, Sarojini Naidu describes the beauty of the garden in comparison with the beauty of the queens of Qutub Shahi rulers. For our convenience, each stanza is again divided into two parts so that we can see clearly on the screen. Stanza 1. I muse among these silent fanes, whose spacious darkness guards your dust. Around me sleep the hoary plains that hold your ancient wars in trust. I muse among these silent fanes, whose spacious darkness guards your dust. Around me sleep the hoary plains that hold your ancient wars in trust. The rhyming scheme you can see here, AB, AB. First line rhymes with third line and second line rhymes with fourth line. Let us see the glossary. Muse, think deeply about a subject. Think deeply about a subject, or thinking deeply about a subject, not noticing what is happening around. Fanes, sacred places or places of worship. Ancient, belonging to times of long past. In stanza 1, in first part, Sarojini Naidu describes the greatness or grandeur of ancient empire rulers. She once visited the Qutub Shahi tombs in Hyderabad, and when she visited Qutub Shahi kings' tombs were located 2 kilometers away from Golconda fort in Hyderabad. As she looked around, she feels that she had retreated into the past. She had lost in the thoughts among these silent, sacred places. Third line in the first part of the first stanza says, around me sleep the hoary plains. Hoary means old and well known. Sacred places. Sacred places here means, as we have already seen, the place where the bodies of the rulers of Qutub Shahi dynasty were buried. And those tombs are the dust of those kings' bodies which were buried. They are guarded by this spacious darkness. Dust here referred to the body that is buried. And those bodies are guarded by the spacious darkness. It was full of darkness over there. And she saw hoary plains, old and well-known plains. These Qutub Shahi kings fought several wars in those hoary plains. Let us see the second part of the first stanza. I pause, my dreaming spirit hears across the wind's unquiet tides the glimmering music of your spears, the laughter of your royal brides. She just paused for a while, not doing anything. Though she paused, her dreaming spirit hears the sounds of glimmering music which came from the spears. The glimmering music which came from the spears. She could also hear the laughter of the princess. Last line of the second part of the first stanza says, the laughter of your royal brides. She could also hear the laughter of the princess or royal brides. That is the power of her imagination. When she visited the royal tombs of Golconda, she was imagining how kings' wives might have laughed when their husbands fought and won the battles. The meaning of glimmering is twinkling with a spark light. Spear is a tool or weapon used in war. As a whole, in stanza 1, in nutshell, poet describes the ambience or the atmosphere which Sarojini Naidu felt when she visited the royal tombs of Golconda, which were located at Ibrahim Bagh, which is 2 kilometers away from Golconda Fort. Let us now see stanza 2. In vain, O kings, doth time aspire to make your names oblivion's sport, while yonder hill wears like a tire the ruined grandeur of your fort. Second stanza, as I told, is addressed to kings. She says, O kings, in vain doth time aspire. The poet says that the time wishes to hide or erase the things which were happened in the past. But the wish of the time which wanted to erase the memories of your achievements and your grandeur went in vain. There is no use of the efforts of time which wanted to erase the memories of your victories. Time tried to make people forget the names and deeds of Qutub Shahi kings, but it could not erase the memory of the victories of the kings. There stands a great fort on the hill, which looked like a crown to the hill. Though centuries falter and decline, your proven stronghold shall remain, embodied memories of your line, incarnate legends of your reign. See the glossary here. Decline, go down. Embodied, possessing or existing bodily form. Incarnate, in human form. Embodied. Though hundreds of years have been passed and spoiled those constructions, still the great deeds of kings' generation remain in our memory. Third line, embodied memories of your line. Line does not mean the line drawn. It is the line of the family of Qutub Shahi dynasty, genealogy. The poet praises the architecture of those tombs which reflect the ancient time and history. She says, incarnate legends of your reign. Your proven stronghold shall remain. We cannot forget the memories of your greatness. Stanza 3. In the first part of the stanza 3, O queens, in vain old fate decreed, your flower-like bodies to the tomb. Death is, in truth, the vital seed of your imperishable bloom. Decreed means ordained, vital, essential, imperishable, enduring, that will last long. According to the poet, due to the fate those flower-like or delicate bodies of those queens have gone into the tombs. Sarojini Naidu succeeds in bringing back the kings and queens of Golconda to life. She admires the beauty of Golconda queens. She says, flower-like bodies, O queens, in vain, old fate decreed your flower-like bodies to the tomb. Due to fate, you might have been lying in the tombs. And she says, death is in truth the vital seed of your imperishable bloom. She admires the beauty of Golconda queens. The wise say beauty is short-lived, but the poet here says that their beauty is imperishable. She adds that death has, excuse me, immortalized their beauty. She even says in last part, each newborn year the bulbuls sing their songs of your renascent loves. Your beauty wakens with the spring to kindle these pomegranate groves. In this stanza, the poet immortalized the beauty of the queens. She even says, bulbuls sing their beauty year after year. She continues that even spring in spring season, we can see the bloom coming. The pomegranates in the gardens around get their shining color from charm of the queens. This is how the poet pays rich tributes to the queens. Your memories can never be forgotten. Your victory cannot be forgotten, she says. Let's see the last two lines. Your beauty wakens with the spring. As spring rises, as spring season sets in, your beauty also rises, wakens to kindle these pomegranate groves. Pomegranate groves gets kindled by the beauty of the spring season. So this is the thrust of the poem. Now let's see the summary. Sarojini Naidu, the Nightingale of India, is one of the greatest poets of India. Her poems glorify Indian culture and traditions. A daughter of Hyderabad, Sarojini Naidu sings the glory of Golconda rulers. The tombs of the 7 Qutub Shahi rulers form the theme of the poem. Taking them as a launching pad, the poet praises their valor, great rule, and the beauty of their queens. The poet stands among the tombs and thinks about them. She recollects their popular rule. She remembers the wars they fought. She sees their spears shine. She hears the sounds they make. She feels the laughter of their royal brides. That is the power of her imagination. Everything is alive before her. Hence, she adds that passing centuries fail to cloud the fame of Golconda kings. The ruined Golconda fort is a witness. The memories of their greatness survive. The stories of their victories remain forever. The beauty of Golconda queens is imperishable. Though they are dead, they are immortal. That means they are still alive. They might have been died and buried, but still they are alive because we are able to remember all that they have achieved. Birds sing of their bloom. Every spring remembers their beauty. In fact, their beauty adds color to the trees around the tombs. In your page number 64 in your textbook, we have the appreciation of the poem. Sarojini Naidu's poems are noted for their symmetry, the quality of all parts being similar in size and structure. Now examine the poem. It has 3 stanzas, as we have already discussed. Each stanza has 8 lines. Every stanza deals with one idea: the place, the kings and the queens. All the stanzas follow the same rhyme scheme: AB, AB, CD, CD. We have already seen. First line rhymes with the third line, and second line rhymes with the fourth line. And observe the use of expressions like spacious darkness, winds unquiet tides, glimmering music. Observe the way the poet addressed the kings and the queens. She succeeded in making the readers believe that they are alive even today. That is the power of an artist. In stanza 2 and in stanza 3, we are able to see the poet saying, poet was calling kings and queens, O kings, in vain doth time aspire. And in third stanza, she says, O queens, in vain old fate decreed. She was calling kings and queens as if they are alive now. She succeeded in making the readers believe that they are alive even today. That is the power of an artist. And as I told, we have to write one annotation in your public exam. You have to have introduction, you have to have context, explanation, and critical analysis. In introduction part, you have to write about the writer and writer's popular writings. In Sarojini Naidu's case, The Royal Tombs of Golconda, written by Sarojini Naidu, one of the most illustrious daughters of India, a child prodigy, and she was popularly known as the Nightingale of India. Her collection of poems include The Golden Threshold, The Bird of Time, and Broken Wing. These are her popular writings, which we have to mention when we write about the writer. Context. In which context does the sentence come in the lesson? We have to mention when the poet visits the royal tombs of Golconda, she looks around and feels that she stepped into the past to express the glory of kings. In the explanation part, you have to explain the sentence given. The question here is the glimmering music of your spears, the laughter of your royal brides. That sentence has to be explained in detail. In which context, who said, and what is the meaning of that sentence? What is the poet's intention in uttering that sentence in the poem should be written in the explanation part. And in critical analysis, the poetess Sarojini Naidu brings alive the grandeur and glory of Qutub Shahis and successfully transported us into another era. we should critically analyze here. When we read the poem, we are able to understand, we are able to feel like we are standing in the midst of the tombs of Qutub Shahi dynasty. That is the greatness of the poem that should be mentioned in critical analysis. And we have another 3 annotations in your textbook given. You have to practice even these 3 annotations. And short answer also should be written in 100 words. One example question is given in the slide. How does the poet sing the glory of Golconda kings? The Royal Tombs of Golconda is written by Sarojini Naidu. She is one of the illustrious daughters of India, a child prodigy and popularly known as the Nightingale of India. Her collection of poems include The Golden Threshold, The Bird of Time, and The Broken Wing. Sarojini Naidu brings life to the grandeur and glory of Golconda Empire in her poem, The Royal Tombs of Golconda. The poetess visits the Qutub Shahi tombs in Hyderabad. As she looks around, she feels that she has stepped into the past. She can visualize the royal empire in all its glory. Centuries have passed by, but the legends about the valor of the kings still abound. Monuments like the Golconda Fort stand mute testimony to the nobility, tolerance, enlightenment, and foresight of the kings. The reign of the Qutub Shahi rulers was synonymous with peace, culture, and prosperity. The beauty of these tombs was kindled during the spring season as pomegranate and other trees form their groves. So, we should answer in a relevant manner to the question given in the exam. Here they have asked us to write the description of the poet about the glory of Golconda kings. That should be written in an appropriate manner. Now we have few language activities here. Look at the word tomb. It is there in your textbook, page number 64. Language activities 6.4.1. Notice the letters and sounds, right? Spelling and pronunciation. Something worth noting. Yes, the letter B is silent. We should say tomb. Look at some other words of this type. Comb, womb, bomb, lamb. Comb is that we use for combing our hair. Womb, mother's womb. Bomb, something that is used to blast. Lamb is the name for sheep. 6.4.2. Now examine the word rain. The spelling and the pronunciation. You must have noticed that the letter G is silent. Let's see some more words with silent G. Sign, resign, design, malign, sovereign. In all these words, G is unpronounced. That is why it is called as silent letter. 6.4.3. Look at the words spring as used in the last but one line of the poem. In the last but one line of the poem, your beauty wakens with the spring. There, the term spring is used. Can you give the other meanings of the word spring? Take the help of a dictionary if needed. In our poem, the word spring is used in the context of season. And spring, another way of using it in verb form is move or jump quickly. And spring, an elastic device, you can see on the screen. In pressing pens, we use springs. So these are the other ways of the usage of spring: season, move or jump quickly, and an elastic device. 6.4.4. Note the words here, rain. Now look at the words here, rain, rain. The words here and here sound alike, though they have different meanings, different spellings and meanings. The same is the case with the words rain, rain, and rain. Such sets of words are called homophones. Homo means same, phones means sound, same sound, but the meaning is different, spelling is also different. Give 3 sets of homophones. In the textbook, they have asked us to write 3 sets of homophones. We have alter and alter. Alter is the place where we stand, and alter is alternate. Instead of. Berth, we say railway berth. My berth is confirmed, we say. Birth, birth, birth. Birth is date of birth, we say. Cast, throw. Cast, that's something that is used for expressing the community. 6.4.5. The word wind in line 6 is pronounced as wind, and it means moving air. The word wind can be pronounced as wind also. Then it means to turn around. Words with the same spelling but different pronunciation and different meanings are called homographs. Graph means writing. Homo means same. Spelling is same, but they have different meanings. Such words are called as homographs. One more example: live, live. Live means, see the example, I live in Khammam. Live, you are watching a live class now. In 2 cases, spelling is same, but pronunciation is different and meaning is also different. Give 2 examples. Now see the examples. The word letter. B is the second letter of the alphabet. We say A is a letter, B is a letter. And another form of the usage of letter. Can you please post this letter? Postcard. You are asking somebody to post this. Right, R-A-G-H-T. Take a right turn at the intersection. Right here means direction. Right side, left side, we say. And another way of using right is I am sure, I am right, means correct. So these are the exercises we have. I hope you understood the thrust of the poem and the exercises we have dealt in this class. If you have any doubt, you feel free to contact your teachers, and I suggest all of you to go through the lesson once again, read the poem thoroughly, learn first textual meanings given in textbook, and try to practice those meanings repeatedly, and learn annotations and short answers from the textbook. Thank you.